we are here with another show with Mama Seven. We thank her so much for gracing our presence. I'm getting her time. Like, this is so cool. And so, like, everybody else is going to be so jealous of me. And that's good. And today, we're going to be talking about a very sensitive topic, and it's meant to be sensitive. You may hear some things that might make you feel a little interesting. Good. We want, if you get uncomfortable, good. That's what we want. We want us all to be uncomfortable of our sacred spaces that we've created for ourselves. We talked to Mama Seven about fear, which was amazing. And we also talk about, getting spiritually centered and all these things that we can incorporate in our lives today and remember and recall. But today, one of my main, I don't even want to call it a charge or whatever, is getting to the root causes of things. And so I do that in my wellness business of getting to the root causes of things. But we're not touching over there what we're going to touch here today. And that is what we inherit from our generations before us. So we are talking about generational inheritances. And it's not what you think. It's not just about money. This is not about money at all. We may be money, but it's not about money. And I am going to preface this by saying I'm going to share some very, personal things here about the things that I've learned about my generational inheritances that I didn't even know I had. And it's like, So the fact of we are bringing things into this life that, again, wasn't ours, and so when we talk about our DNA and our lineage and our legacies and all of these things, we always think about legacy. You know what I mean? What are they carrying forward to, continue the name? And it's normally talking about in the positive, but the negative aspects of that is what people don't talk about. We don't pay attention to. We don't acknowledge or be honest about. Right. And it's a painful thing. It really is when you start really looking at it. But if we don't look at that, where are we healing? Right. Because we're still clinging on to those things that we don't even know that we have. Like I said, we hold so many things in our body, which creates dis-ease, which creates our anxiety, which creates X, Y, and Z. And we don't know where it came from sometimes. We know traumas happen, life happens, so those are experiences that are along the way, but what do we start with? So that's what we're going to talk about today with Mama Seven from A Wonderful Approach. Awesome. We're gonna get in it. Awesome. We're gonna get in it. So this whole concept, Mama Seven, about generational inheritances. Right. At the very basic level, what would you say that we're talking about here?
What we're talking about are the things that are interwoven with us between ourself, our family, our self-perception, how we handle situations, how we handle life. That's what we're talking about. That is what's been handed down. Yeah. So we're born into a family, and this family teaches us their way of handling situations, of doing, of being, and everything like that. And then we become adults, and we're supposed to handle things our way. But there comes a point in time where we have been taught and trained from our family how to do things, to the point that we're doing things and not even realizing there's other choices, there's other options. We don't have to do them that way. All families may not do it that way, and everything else like that. So when you get to be of an adult, you start to recognize that I'm carrying information from my family that may not still be valid or necessary. We may have different ways of doing things now, And so trying to break from what we've been taught in those traditions can be very difficult, because they've already been a part of you. You know what I'm saying? We've already accepted them. This is what they do. So how dare you break tradition? And it's like, this
It's
tradition doesn't work for me. It's not my
family. They
tradition.
love me. They wouldn't tell me anything wrong. And this is how they've been doing it forever. And they seem to be all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
are
Yeah. So doing things because that's the way they have been done is not a good reason to do things at all. Can we? I'll be the first to say, and I've been given permission to be frank.
Yes, you have.
So
Yes, you have.
I appreciate that because certain topics you can't say and can't speak about until you are able to be frank and to
Yeah.
be clear.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, like I have an older son now, he's 21, and I can see pieces of him that are from me and my family. I can see pieces of him that are from his father and his father's family. And then there's a third piece. And for the past 2 years, I'm like, what is this? What is this? That's him. That is the part that is him, that is unique, that he has created. And if he can maintain that, mom's side, dad's side, me,
Yeah.
then he's going to be wonderful because at least he'll be able to know where it came from.
Yeah.
So if he has this thought, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. If he can know where it comes from, where it stems from, and if he can identify, oh, this is still healthy for me, then yes, I'll continue.
Yeah.
But if he's thinking about it, he can identify, well, even though it comes from my mother's side, and even though all of them do that, is it healthy for me though? And if I can just think about that, does it still serve the purpose it's set out to serve? And so we have to update all the time. God, we're evolving. Animals are evolving, but yet we think tradition means it has to stay the same.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right. Right. Yeah. People, tradition, that word tradition. And
Yes,
what I love about some people that I know that they've created their own traditions,
absolutely.
and they may take fibers of what happened, but they
Yes,
intuitively know, nope, I'm gonna pick and choose this. I'm gonna take this. Nope, I'm gonna
yes,
go that way. And they gave themselves permission
yes,
to round out a new tradition, maybe
yes,
loosely based off what they have learned,
absolutely.
and it's been better for them.
When it comes to understanding spirit and understanding where those generational things come from, we have to make sure that we can see our own path, that we're honoring our own path. What may have worked before may not work now. And there's two parts to the generational transition. Okay, because I don't want to say breaking the curse. We can't break our generational anything. Generational means it's connected and tied to the one before and to the one coming.
Right.
So we don't want to break, we don't want to have a break in our generation. What we want to do is have evolution. Everyone's evolving. God demands that animals evolve. There's a group of fish that if there's too many males, some of the males will turn female so that they can reproduce. And if they have too many females, some of the females will turn male so that they can reproduce. That's evolution, okay?
That's called a perfect. That is a perfect. That's your yin and yang for real. Like, we're gonna balance this out for real.
We're gonna make sure everybody everybody does, everybody has their needs taken care of. Even if that means that half of us have to go do something we've never done before, we're willing to do that for the continuation of the species.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
That's what we like. That's what
we like. So what we have to do is we have to be willing, we have to be able to recognize that there are some evolutions that need to happen with us. Everything that we did before may not continue in the same way. Right. And so we have to be open and okay with changing things, and every family has that thing. And oh my goodness, if you study your ancestry, you'll find out everyone in your family had this thing that they did. And you're like, okay, that's wonderful, but it's not me. I don't feel it. I don't want it. Allow me to do something different. And sometimes family will allow you to do something different. Sometimes they won't.
Yeah. Exactly. And especially when it's being voiced that like, hey, I see something different. Or
Yes,
I'd like to explore this other avenue.
yes,
And when it's off the beaten path, it's like, oh my God, like, like you're damning the family to all hell. And
yes,
it's like,
yes,
no, because
yes,
it comes with that type of intensity sometimes,
yes,
you know,
yes,
and so when you have like families and they always talk about, what is it? Children, like siblings, whatever, there's always this black sheep of the family, and it's
yes,
like, okay, so you're making it seem like it's a bad thing, but no, like,
yes,
yeah, they are following their own path, they're doing other things that you may not have done,
absolutely.
you know
I-
so yeah, it's like, it's okay.
yeah.
It's
Even when it comes to having children, some families, like in my family, everyone was married, and I just I believed in the union of marriage, and I knew I was not there. And I was like, I don't want to disrespect the union of marriage by rushing this marriage because I have this child, because we're about to have this baby. I don't want to rush marriage and have it be something now that I know I don't feel. I believe that that it is a sacred. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to rush it. And my family just thought that was the craziest thing in the world. And, oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't do that. And I'm like, but I am. Watch me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I prayed about it first. Oh my goodness. I prayed and prayed, and I wrote about it. I spoke to good counsel about it. And then in hindsight, I can see why they said it. I can see, oh, you have so many needs, it's this. I can see the logic. It wasn't flawed reasoning that made me say no.
right,
It was truly just me desiring something different.
right.
And after I explained it, and I had to explain it 2 or 3 times, but after I explained it to my family, his family, everyone, they began to say, okay, we can see that they're doing something different, but it doesn't have to be the end of all ends. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So there are things that we inherit. And as we were talking, I realized, wait a minute, what I'm doing, I'm basing it out of um, a respect I have for marriage. What y'all are doing is based out of fear. I don't operate in fear. And that's why I couldn't, and that's why I didn't, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because neither of us were ready. But really, I could see just the intention behind it. I was like, no, I can't, because I can't do anything in fear,
Right,
not at all.
right, right. Exactly. And you shouldn't, especially a life-changing decision like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
again, we get caught up in the event,
yes,
not realizing at the end of the day, y'all go home. I got,
yes, yes, yes,
I have to be here. You know what I
yes,
mean? And it's like, yeah, no. And one thing I've noticed in my own family is like, um, their expectations or aspirations for you are more invested in you than in their own self.
yes,
So if
and
something doesn't go the way that they expected and or anticipated, oh my God, because feel like it's literally happening to them.
right,
When it
right,
ain't.
right.
You,
You
you're
know,
you're once removed or twice or three times removed. It's
yes,
not happening to you.
yes, yes.
It's the,
I it, with a wonderful approach, I do a lot of speaking. I also do a lot of questions. I'm like, hey, well, what is this, and how does this make you feel, and how did it? So I'll ask you, how can someone else um, do your work?
Mhm.
They can. Your spiritual work and your obligations, they're for you.
Yeah.
So no one can make decisions big enough to where your walk is now being dictated by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That's not healthy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God is not going to respect that. God is like, okay, aren't you an adult? Now when we were children, we had to follow toe the line, okay? honor thy mother and father. You had to do exactly as they said. You were supposed to listen. Back in the day, back in my day, these gray hairs are not decoration. You know, back in the day, you know, children were seen and not heard, and there were all kinds of rules and regulations as to being a child.
Yeah.
And the thing that I know that makes you go from a position of childhood to a position of adulthood is when you start making your own decisions based on your own understanding of logic, of good things, and everything else like that.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it's wonderful. Please get advice from this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one making the decision because you are the one that's going to have to deal with the consequences of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's generational. That's moving into your own, and you should be encouraged to do that. We need to be encouraging people.
Find out what you can find out. And so when we're talking about, you know, carrying things into this life or whatever, you know, we all have traits, right?
Yes.
You're very big on traits and realizing where you come from and all of that, whatever. What have you inherited? Or what, you know, what
exactly.
You know, like I know I've inherited writing and I love music and I love to travel. I love to explore. And, you know, every once and again, I get a story about one of my ancestors that did that. And I'm like, okay, I know where I got that from, right? Or, you know, my mom would say my cousin and I had taken after the women in our family, you know, working to run our own businesses and things like that, because that's what my great grandmother did. You know, was a superintendent of a building in Harlem in the 40s. And it's like, that's some real boss stuff, right?
Yes.
And so you can be proud of that. On the flip side of that, what were there pain points that are continuing, that are very strong into present day that we don't pay attention to or know about, right? Until we look a little deeper and we start getting those questions like, you know, you play around like, who did it to you? Where'd that come from? But it's a real question. It's like, okay, think real deep. And you think you can't get any deeper? I promise you, you can.
Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yeah.
And then when you do, you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
I heard this before. This was taught to me, or this was taught to me.
Yes.
It's like, that is not what it should be anymore. Like you said, some things worked before, but today and then tomorrow, no, you know, it just doesn't. And that right there is another weight that we carry that is not our own.
That's right. That's right. I remember
go ahead.
Working with this elder African American woman. She had 10 kids.
Bless her.
8 boys. Okay.
Bless her.
And so she wanted me to make this grocery run for her. And she had clipped out a coupon, and it was like 5 cents off a can of green beans. I was like, and it was at a particular store, and she's telling me, and she's 80 some, half vision, half gone, but she's telling me, now go to this store and make sure you use this coupon and you get this nickel off and you get back that can of string beans. I said, well, how many cans am I getting? 2. And I'm like, oh my God, a dime. And I'm going across town for the dime. And her children were there, her adult children, and they're fussing at her. Don't nobody want to go to that store, blah, 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 blah. And it was a big dramatic hoopah, right? And I was like, she's not saying this for just her safety or sake or whatever. She's saying this because those nickels meant something back in the day. When you had 10 kids, a couple of nickels may have been a meal for them back in that time. And it was worth going that extra step to go and save that money, you know. She's lived through her age, she's lived through a depression at least. In her house was the house that if you got pregnant young, that's where they sent you. Every family had that house where you would go. So there was always someone at the house that was pregnant and that they were kind of hiding away until the baby was about 2. And then the baby would go to another family member, whatever. Back the way our families hold secrets and
Yes.
everything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so her house was very important because there were so many people there, so many children going through things there. And she's telling me to go across town. I said, okay, well, I'm going to get the string beans. I'm going to go. She said, okay. And her children said, are you really going to? I said, no, I'm not going across town. I'm going to buy the string beans though,
Right.
but I'm not going to do that. Her fears of not having enough wanted me to go across town. Okay. Her fear that we got to save up just because there's on sale would have me go across town. But I don't have to exist in her fear.
Right. Right.
So I went up the street and got the string beans, didn't give her no receipt, and I just gave her the kids the string beans, okay? And I had to though first understand where that was coming from. Mm-hmm. Understand how saving money meant something. Mm-hmm. Understanding to a mother, one of the most horrible things you can do is not have for your children. Right. And so that coupon may have been something she was saving for a rainy day or whatever, still stuck in her own limited thinking, you know? So what I had to do was recognize her limitations are not my limitations. Right. Right. I had a car. She told me it was on the bus line. The store was on the bus line. And I'm like, you know, my Jenkins, I'm not going on no bus line. Okay. I'm not doing it. Okay. So, but you know, those were her limitations. Yeah. Yeah. And so I had to be careful not to absorb them, but yet I could still help her by getting the string beans. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The end of the ones we need the string beans. I'm gonna get you the string beans.
I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. I don't even have to educate you as to how the other store is cheaper. I don't have to educate you. I don't have to do that. I don't have to go through all this. You're not. Her brain's not going to understand, nor does it want to. That coupon brought her some comfort. Yeah. Why do I have to take that away from her? Right. Right. So there are times when we're dealing with generational things. It's not for us necessarily to fix in the original or the handed down or what. It's only for us to do right going forward. Going forward, we're not going to just look at the coupon. We're going to look at the actual price of the cans and the locations. And I don't have to wait this sleeping giant over here in her desire to save 10 cents.
Right, right. Exactly.
So that's wonderful. That because she got her string beans. That's wonderful. I let her know I did save the money. That's wonderful. Right. I put her heart at rest by not having to educate her on this, that, or the other. That's wonderful. That's how you get a wonderful approach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't feel like you have to always fight and have to prove your point and da-da-da-da. Yeah. It's not necessary. Yeah. You're not always going to win. And your point may not have been the overall lesson.
Right. Right. So understanding that, like when we start to unleash these types of things, no, it's going to be rocky. Mm-hmm. No, it's going to be a tug of war. Right. And you don't even realize what the lesson is. You know what you're going through. You know the decision that you're making, you know, but you don't even realize there's a lesson on the other side.
And there's multiple people. There's multiple people. Her children were like, you know what? We don't have to fight with our mother. She gives us the grocery list. She gives us the coupons. Go get the food.
Go get the food.
Just go get the food. And so her children were like, well, maybe we can be gentler in our approach. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't have to. She doesn't have to know where we went to the store. She just needs the food.
Right. Right.
And so there's all kind of lessons, and we have to be aware we may not always be the one learning the lesson. Mm-hmm. So if you can be open enough and allow the lesson to come through you, then a lot of times we have those indirect people. Remember, I think the first show we were talking about the 100 people we will influence in our life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's 100 people that are going to learn from us, right or wrong, good or bad. They're going to learn it from us individually.
At least.
So at least.
Mhm.
So let's make sure that we're ready and have those lessons of gentle education so we don't have to, startle the baby and waking the baby up. We can just move forward. So breaking those generational issues, changing them, adjusting them, we don't have to go back and fight.
Yeah.
We can just move forward in peace and make sure that the forward knows how to handle things. I don't go back and spend a lot of time trying. I don't know if I could really thank my mother enough. I don't think I could do this enough. And I try, but I don't. But what I do is I try to make sure my children know how to be appreciative. I try to make sure that they know the lessons to teach their children and everything like that. So a lot of my stuff I try to pay forward so that people understand it's not always about fixing the past. You can't fix history. Is there. It's history. I can't change her feelings about that 10 cents.
Yeah.
I don't know if she had a stack full of nickels and dimes that she had saved for coupons that actually paid a bill once upon a time. I don't know her life. I don't know enough of her history to say that 10 cents don't matter.
Right.
But I know going forward, I can help educate the children. Hey, look, adult children, don't drive across town and spend your money in gas. You'll spend $2 in gas trying to save a nickel. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Let you can get that. You can get them string beans delivered. That might even be cheaper for you. Okay.
That is true. That's another thing. It's like talk about the evolution of things.
Yes.
Go order it online.
Yes.
You got the food.
Yes.
You can have a meal. Everybody is happy.
Yes.
Right.
So we have to learn how to not over focus on the past. Get the information. If the recipe calls for string beans, you need string beans. Okay. So we can get the information, but don't be limited in their methods, in their timelines, in the way. I mean, back in the day, women didn't wear pants. Most women now wear pants. Skirts are almost outdated, old fashioned, or whatever. But things change all the time.
Yeah, and allow it to change.
Allow it to change.
You have people that want to hold on to traditional values or what they did, so you should be doing the same thing, or and it's like, no, I don't. I could.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Don't want to.
Have to.
I don't have to. I don't want to or have to.
I don't want to. I have to. And so I'm not going to. And it's like once you start digging in your past to find out what's happened, or you look at history of your family and look at what's been a common thread throughout the history, you're like, wait a minute. I come from a strong line of very strong women, independent women, self-sufficient women or whatever. However, they have not made the best choices in men in their life. And same with me. And it's not that, there's anything totally wrong with them, but it was like, that's not matching my best self.
Right.
Because you weren't taught to know your best self, to be able to experience your best self, so then you can attract your best partner beside you. And so when I've looked at that and I'm just like, wow, and I've been taught, you get your education and make sure you look out for you look out for number one, but still be of service in all. I mean, so there's confusing things happening, right? Growing up, be this person or make sure you be in you and all of these other things,
right?
But you tell me, but you didn't tell me how.
Yes.
I wasn't given the steps. Oh yeah, I can go ahead and balance my paycheck. I can make common sense. I have street sense and book sense for sure. That's what you gave to me. You gave me the art and love of service and caring and compassion and all of those things. But these other hows for individually me, you didn't do it because you didn't get it.
Yeah.
So
and they can only give what they have.
What they have.
Period. Point blank.
It's not
I can only give what I have.
You know what I mean? I love what I've received. I've loved what I received. You know what I mean? But there's more because
Yes.
now there's a new being present. So there has to be more
Right.
because if we're each individually made different
Yes.
for a certain purpose,
Yes.
then the
We
mold
are.
that you have created me to be in can't stay in that mold. It
That's
shouldn't stay
right.
in that mold, and it
You
shouldn't
should
stay
be out. You should be outgrowing it every day.
out of
Every day, it should be more and more uncomfortable. More like, me. I want to add something. I want to take away something. We should be creating ourselves every single day. It
Mhm.
starts with morning prayer. It ends with evening prayer.
Yes, and in
Every
between
day
too.
and everything in between. And I can tell you there are people that really fight change.
Yeah.
And of course they're only fighting themselves. One of my favorite quotes, favorite is, I'm not sure that every caterpillar wanted to be a butterfly, but I know those that resisted wasted time and energy doing so.
Yeah.
So, by me, God was like, look, you don't have to want to be a butterfly, but being a caterpillar means you will eventually become a butterfly.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
So you can waste time arguing, fighting about it, doing whatever, or you can work on evolution. What are you going to do? When do you want to do it? How do you want? But so this is life.
Yeah.
This is life. And so we have to get to the point where we stop fighting really what we're supposed to do and move into just the new way of doing what we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we need the generational information.
Mm-hmm.
We need it. Growing up, we didn't know. All we had was our family to teach us.
Yeah.
The family is teaching us. Great, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to say, there comes a point in adulthood where you're like, what do I want?
What do I want? Yeah, what do I want?
How am I
Yeah.
going to do this? Mm-hmm. How
Yes.
am I going to do this?
Yeah, I'm so thankful.
What works for me?
Yeah, what works for me? Not everybody else around you. What works for me? Because what's gonna work for everyone else around you is when you find out and you live and implement what works for you.
Absolutely.
And all they'll just, hopefully, is be happy for you, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of whatever, because that just means that they haven't found out who they are.
Right, right.
They didn't
And we,
have time.
it's very brave. It's very, very brave to try to be yourself authentically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It takes bravery. And on one hand, it's like, why? Why does it take bravery? Because it does.
Yes.
Because we're set up to follow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As children, for 18 years at least, you followed your parents exclusively. You know what I'm saying? So in 1 year, you're supposed to just break that? No. We're set up to follow. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it's been documented in books and all through school and everything else like that. You have to follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there comes a point where you have to follow yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're doing enough to encourage people to be authentically themselves.
Right. Right. That, yeah. And so I don't even think I didn't know what that even meant.
Yes.
I knew what I created for me.
Right.
And you shouted that. And it was like, no.
Yeah. Yes.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, very honest. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
But it was needed,
Mhm.
it was very, very needed. And so when you have people that maybe don't have access to that generational information, but they're
Yes.
craving that information, they want to understand more. They want to know how that they can identify and then figure out, for themselves what's going to best work for them. What do they do when they can't get that information?
It can be very difficult to get that information.
Yeah.
There are some people that would rather transition holding that information
Yes.
than to give it to you.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in our community, our families tend to be lopsided, where we'll have more information on our mother's side and little to none on our father's side.
Right. Right.
And if you're over, I'm going to say 40, when I say they held that information, they held that information tight. You did, when they said you didn't know, you had no clue who your father was.
Yes.
So just like our string beans, I'm not going to get caught up in what she will not tell me and what she will not give me. I have to go beyond her. I have to use my own brain and say, okay, if you're not capable of giving me letting me go to the nearest store. I have to use my own brain in this. So when it comes to ancestry and understanding, you may have to do some research.
Yeah.
Right now, they got all kinds of public records. I knew a gentleman who he didn't know what his mother looked like.
Oh wow.
She had transitioned so young in his life.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know what her voice sounded like. He didn't know what she looked like. And it was too painful for his father to help him with that. So dad, you don't need to know that, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So dad, who had the information, but because of his own pain, could not, would not, did not share it. So we were like, okay, did she have a driver's license? Can we see that picture?
Ah.
Did she go to high school? Can we dig and get that picture? Was she part of any clubs? Can we get those pictures? And so we had to get real creative, but there was a real need. He needed to know why he looked the way he looked. He wanted to know why he felt some of the things that he did. So, what did she want to do in high school? What kind, now we know, I'm looking back in high school, I'm like, that was so long ago. I was 3 or 4 different people ago. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if that's all my child can look for,
yeah,
start there.
Yeah.
Start there. There's so many ancestry things going on. I always try to tell people, in the family, there's usually one person at least that's willing to talk.
Yep.
That's willing to say, look, let me at least point you in this direction. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Yes.
And so, respecting first, he had to respect the idea that his father couldn't. It's not that his father was trying to be mean to him, even though it felt mean. Even though it's not like his father was trying to hold a conspiracy against him. It just felt like the conspiracy was against him. You're holding me back from my mother. Yeah. I just want to know what she looks like.
Yeah.
Eyeball. I just want to be able to look at her. And so he had to really fight for this himself. And he had to fight in a way where he still had to be respectful of his father.
Right.
Still had to be respectful of his father's feelings. And so when it comes talking about passing things down generationally, you can also pass down generational pain.
Yeah.
You can pass down generational fears. You can pass down generational poverty, that impoverished mindset.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you can get from your family that you didn't even know were passable, but they are. We have in certain communities, we have colorisms where certain colors are celebrated, certain colors, hues.
Yes, hues, yeah.
Certain hues are not celebrated.
Right.
There is body shaming actually starts at like 5 and 6. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You can't start body shaming at 6. You never recover from that. The work it takes to recover from body shaming at 6.
Yeah.
And that is in your family.
Yeah.
That you're not in a work environment by 6 years old. You're not in you don't have a church family. Even if you go to church, it's not your church family. Right. Those are your mother's people. Right. Those are your father's people.
Right.
So, when I say that we can inherit some very dangerous elements from our family, that's what I'm talking about. And it starts with precision of language. It starts with being aware that this child, think about it, this child in their life only sees you. Right now, in the middle of COVID, I have a high schooler who's home with me. Ooh. And we see that I am all he sees all day. Right. He doesn't go out too much to play. They're not encouraging playing right now. He's not in school. He doesn't have a job. So when he is talking to me, a lot. I have to be patient with that because I understand I am his only outlet.
Yeah.
And if he'll hear 10 words, he'll hear all 9 of them from me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How important are those words? You know what I'm saying? All day long, I don't hear nothing, but the words that come out of your mouth, that's all I receive. How important are those words?
That's gold right there. You're gonna hold on to them.
Yes, you hold on to them.
Regardless
Think
of
about
good
it,
or
only
bad,
get 10 words now.
I'm gonna
You're going to
hold.
hold on to every single one. But
Yeah.
guess what? I have spoken to somebody. I went to work. I had traffic. I had this. I had that. I've already given out 100 words, and
Yeah.
you need 10. Oh my God! You know,
Right. Right.
we have to be. We have to know who we are and what we're doing. This is what I'm talking about. We have to be so intentional in staying in that God frame of mind,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and understanding who we are
Mm-hmm.
and what we're doing and how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we're creating, each of us are creating the next generation's understanding right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I can teach my child, yes, I go out and work, yes, I talk to people, blah blah blah, but I always have a kind word for you. I can't have it where she always has a kind word for everybody else.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a kind word for me.
Right.
What's wrong with me?
Right. Right. Exactly. I understand. I totally understand that now, being the tender age I am now, and the
Mm-hmm.
people that, younger people that I will influence, regardless
Yes.
if they're in my bloodline or not. And
Yes.
so this journey for me is becoming even more and more personal at every turn, because, you know, children, the children that are in my circle love me. I love them, you
Yes.
know what I mean? And so of course I want to be of service to them or whatever. And children can see through all the BS,
Yes, they
right?
can.
So
Real quick.
I want to make sure that I'm cleaned up,
Yes.
because if I'm going to be in a position to give advice or comfort or support, compassion, they know it's genuine. They know it's pure coming from Nicole,
Yes.
and that's because I've done my own work. And to help them, maybe whatever point in their life, they might have picked up something that was dirty. Let me help you course correct.
Yes.
And I can
Yes.
do this from my own experience, so that
Yes.
you might go down that path, but you've gotten my words.
Yes. Yes.
So hopefully
Now,
hold on to those things.
and now what I'd like to do is give you a mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then have you do that for yourself.
Yeah, that mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. And so all those people that are just meeting Mama Seven, let me tell you, you're guaranteed to get the truth and some homework. Okay.
Nothing
I
but the truth.
promise
Oh,
you.
help her, God. This is it's the most intense courtroom you'll ever be in. Uh
You're
and
gonna get some homework.
you're gonna get
Okay.
homework. I mean, it's like, dang, man. Like, this is
Yeah.
real homework, but it's so necessary. And
Yes.
you fight through the homework. You fight through the homework because you're fighting
Yeah.
through yourself. You're
Yes.
fighting through those layers that were given to you, embedded in you, and now I mean, we all try to figure out our own thing in life,
Yes.
but we're held
Yes.
from what
Yes.
was given to us, trying to carry it forward.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get that homework,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh wow. And then it's like, okay, how do I think deeper here? What am I?
Right. Right. Right.
Let me tell
Think deeper.
you, dig deep. That's her favorite term. One of her favorite terms. Dig deeper.
Think deeper.
Let me tell you, those words can't be truer, because I'm like, okay, if I'm trying to find out my own answers, right? Because I may,
Yes.
may not be able to go someplace else or get the truth that I'm desiring.
Exactly.
Go dig deeper. And what does dig deeper looking like? Think, pray, meditate, talk,
Yes.
write, all of those things to try to get some information, or get a clue as to
Yes.
where you're supposed to go to get the information.
Yes.
Because when you
Yes.
think you need to go get the information, it's not always true, like she's already
Yes.
explained. Some
Yes.
these pain points are hard,
Yes,
and
they
nobody
are.
wants to regurgitate them back out, because then they're reliving the pain, but they don't realize that they continue to live the pain by holding on to it, another
Yes.
other story.
That's another show. That's
That's a
another
whole
show.
other
That's
show.
another show. Yes.
But when you start doing this type of work and really centering and getting yourself, it's like you'll get like, hey, let me contact this person, because you
Yes.
go over there, you get a whole plethora of information. Like I started, I did a 23andMe and health and all of that, and I also did just to see where I came from in all parts of this world, and that was so much fun. But I started building my ancestry.com, right? And ancestry.com is not paying me for this. So I contacted my mom because she is the person in the family that has a whole lot of family information. And so I'm like, okay, who's this person and who's this person's parents? And so I'm writing all this down, and I'm like, let me just start plugging it in. And I started getting 1930, 1940 census records to show you who was in the house. Then I take the
Wow.
information. Okay, who's this or who's this, right? And then
Yes.
it gives you hints. And okay, what is this? I built up all the way to the mid 1800s of my
Wow.
family.
Wow.
Now I know, because I've done my DNA history and everything. Now I know I have ancestry in Trinidad and Tobago, so I need to go there, which they hold amazing records, and then
Yes.
find out who these people are, where did they come from, to maybe get more information. So I mean, it's some work. It's a lot of work, tedious work. But when you start really drilling down, I was just drilling down on some names and trying to get some dates and information. But from that information, from who you talk to, you get stories that now you can hold, and you can start creating.
And that's what we're looking for.
We're looking for the story.
Looking for the story. Because the story is going to tell you how that connects with this, connects to this. This is how sisters are. This set of sisters did this. This set of sisters did that. The men did this kind of work. And then you really start to learn the traits and really where you come from. And it helps you to even be more gentle with yourself. More gentle. You know what I'm saying? More gentle. I know my father and his mother battled. He battled with this woman. He was so mad. He was mad on the cellular level with this woman. And it would pain me to hear him talk about her and all of the pain he was in because of the situation.
Yeah.
And she transitioned before I was born. But the spiritual work I've had to do to ease that situation has been miraculous. To now he has another kind of relationship with her.
Nice.
But by him having another type of relationship with her, that gives me now permission to go into his side of the family. Who were her brothers and sisters? Now that we can at least talk about her name without closing down emotionally, without the shutdown, without the hard feeling, without the weeks of recovery and all this other stuff he used to go through.
Yeah.
It would block me. Boom, block.
Yeah.
Now I can dig deeper. Who were her siblings?
Yes.
What was her mother and father's name? And now I can start filling my tree in, but I had to go about it so gently with the person that's here. This is what I'm saying. If you're getting a generational block from someone, imagine the pain they have and all the energy it's taking for them to hold back generations of people from you, generations of they are fighting the tidal wave of all tidal wave. They know it's going to take them over. They can't help. Imagine what they're going through. Imagine what they're going through. And it allows me to be more compassionate. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I can see that you're struggling and fighting tooth and nail in this unhealthy way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you to continue fighting. I'm just going to create a little breezeway around you and allow the water to come and have another way to flow. You can stay in there if you want to. You can keep standing there. But I'm going to create a way around you so that I don't have to interfere with you. And then one day you'll look and see the water's not even here anymore. The water has all gone around me. I'm not even holding anything. I'm just going to move them. They will move by themselves.
Yeah. Definitely. It's
So
definitely a process.
it's a process.
Oh,
And I say that because I want to encourage people. I don't care who you think is blocking you.
mhm.
There is a way around them.
Yeah,
There's a gentle way around them.
yeah.
You don't have to knock them down. They don't have to succeed to you. They don't have to go through all this recognizing blah blah blah. No, that was your journey.
Yeah.
That was what you were supposed to do.
Mhm.
Now that you've done that, the water will find a way around this person, okay? But that's not your job to knock them down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They will get it. They'll understand later.
Mhm.
You know, all you have to do is stand in your truth.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I know so many people. From one of my last episodes, someone was talking about this whole the whole generational inheritance and things like that. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely important because as I go down my own road, I'm just like, yo, I find some great things and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like the story I've told on one of your retreats about my great grandfather. That's I grew up with him, and he had a floor waxing business that he took care of his family with. But before all of that, he used to ride a bicycle from the Bronx to Jersey every single day to work for Kellogg. And during the Depression, when Kellogg had to close, before all of that, he asked the man who was waxing the floors in Kellogg to show him how to do it. And this is what and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I'm still like, he wrote a book.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
what is my excuse?
Exactly.
What is my excuse? And because he was determined. He had to do this.
Yeah.
And at the time, you had a young family. I think at that time, the census records are correct. He had about 2 kids at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, wow. So of course I can be proud of that side.
Yeah.
And I can look at and see how I show up through him, Um, I'll never forget his nickname for me was Boy. Call me Boy all the time. Boy, not boy, I'm a girl, However, it was just like, wow, he did all of this. And here I am doing what I'm, working to do what I'm doing. For me, it's my duty and my obligation and my honor to be like, make good on what my ancestors have done. On the flip side, you find out some traits that are always not that great and that you're carrying on. And it was the thinking part. It was the fear part. It was not the not having enough or not. You talk about self-worth, but how do you do that? The how is what I think a lot of people are missing, and that's where it became really critical for me to open up my mind, realize that I am unlimited.
Yes.
Again, a struggle every day to like hold that concept, like, oh, I want to hold on that. But when I do that, then everything else opens up or has opened up or is waiting. And I'm like,
yes,
because I'm not thinking how family members do think anymore.
Right.
And you call me the black sheep.
You create your own.
I'm creating my own.
Yes.
It's never too late. I don't care where you are. I get so much thrill when you see they talk about people in their 60s or 70s. They went back to school and got their degree. What?
I know one of them. She went back at 75. Yes.
75. Get my degree. You can't catch me in another institution. I've been there. It's like that right there. That's something that they always wanted to do, and they kept that dream, and then they did it regardless of whatever might have telling them before.
Yes.
Oh, you're too old for that. What are you worrying about that for?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's that sense of accomplishment. I'm doing this for me.
I wanted to. I always wanted to.
Yeah.
So therefore I am. I always wanted to. So
thankfully they did it before they transitioned. You know what I mean? What, rather than going to the grave, not having done that. It's like I like that. Thank you. I am working to decrease my woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Oh yeah. I won't live like that. I won't live like that. Right. I'm not going to continuously live by what could have happened,
Yeah.
which should have happened. No, from
No.
now on, I am living my reality. I'm working to create my best reality. And I think when you do the work to create your best reality,
Yeah.
that lets go of the shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you know what? I really did try. I did my best. I'm gonna call it a day. I did what I said I was gonna do.
That's all. That's all. That's all you.
Yeah.
That's all you got. And
Oh,
so that weight that we continue to
yes.
carry from what
Yes.
other people expect or think or have always done,
Mm-hmm.
like let that, let
Yeah.
it go.
Yeah.
Like drop that down. Take the best parts and move forward.
That's right.
That's
That's
how
right.
we're supposed to honor our inheritances.
That's
Find
right.
out all you can about the good, bad, and the ugly and
Mm-hmm.
indifferent. And like you choose your food, what's going to be on your plate and what
That's
you
right.
not, because I'm not eating lima beans, I'm not eating corn, I'm not eating any of that stuff, right? But I am going to eat some fish and some spinach and my yams and all of these things because this is what I chose to put on my plate.
Yes.
So why not? Why not choose the same thing for my plate of life and choose what I want to? And I'm going to enjoy eating all of that goodness.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like that's like a serious aha moment for me. Like, like it's so simple, but we make it so complicated.
Yeah, our life really is simple because God is very clear about what we're supposed to be doing, and God gives us examples.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go back into biblical days, or we don't even have to go that far back. Look at your ancestry. Okay, they did this, they did this, they did that, but did that work for them?
It worked for me.
Is that a good way of doing things now? And once you start answering those kind of questions, then you'll start to say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it that way. I want to try something different. I want to be able to look and see something different. I want a different response. I want a different result.
Yeah, definitely. And continue that evolution. And no,
Absolutely.
it's okay. It's okay to look different.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's so okay, and I can understand that now, and I'm thankful for that.
Now,
even when other people don't understand.
mm-hmm.
So and Mama Seven has helped me to understand they don't have to.
No.
It's you. Long as you understand it and you know what you're
get it.
supposed to be doing.
Yes. Yes.
Bump
yes.
the rest of them. Tell them to kick rocks. I love you in Jesus'
Yes.
name. Bye.
Yes.
Because it's like you can change and do what you want to do. Also, you're not stuck where you're supposed to be because this is what your mom told you, or this is what you learned, or this is what you saw growing up. We all seen a lot of things growing up, but it don't mean all of it is good for us.
That's right.
Especially as this world is forever changing.
Yes, very much so. Right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, you don't think you need to evolve or change with the times in some sort of way. I'm not saying conform to all of mainstream and all of that stuff, because a lot of things are really going into retro.
Right.
But yeah, you have to pick and choose. Like, okay, yeah, I'm still within the modern times, but I'm still doing, I'm being truthful and honest to me. For how I got here and in the way in which I did, and you honor, like I said, you honor the best parts of you.
Yes.
Heal the rest. Work to heal the rest. So
yes.
I want everybody to go out, turn over the stones you have to turn over. Technology is amazing and is very helpful. All you're doing is Googling something or going to getting a DNA test, the ancestry test or whatever, to see you.
Yes.
And then create from there.
Yep.
Like the best parts of you, of course, come from your ancestors, for sure.
Right.
Your traits, those come from your ancestors, for sure. Thank you. I honor those.
Yes.
Those other little ones.
Yeah. Work on that.
Those anymore. They don't even want you to no, stop. No, my bad. They're telling you, I'm sorry. So this is what you need to do.
Yes.
And we know instinctively, we do know. We just no.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like I say, I remember telling my mother, we were having a discussion, and I was telling her, I said, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying you're not right for me.
For me, right.
And so I'm never tell an elder or family, oh, this is wrong. I will tell you, though, it's not right for me. What I need, what I'm doing. And it's okay to make that distinction.
Yeah.
Because she gives great advice, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
At that moment, though, I was like, that's not right for me and who I'm creating me to be. So it's okay with saying and letting people know that doesn't work for me. I need something different, and going and getting it.
Yeah, exactly. And just take the best parts. Is all I can say. Those are the things you want to carry on into the next generations. That's how you create your generational wealth. That's right. You know what I mean? That's what you want to be proud of moving forward. That's the legacy that we need to be establishing. Let's pull out the best parts of our ancestry and pay them forward and instill them in our children, instill them in our community.
That's right.
Watch the snowball of positivity, of greatness continue to be created.
Yes.
That's the type of world that I want to be in.
Awesome.
You know, so yeah, wow. Woo, that was good.
Okay.
That was very
awesome.
Good. I mean, there's so many different facets that we can go through in this particular subject, but I think this was a really great jump off point. This was just a jump off point.
Awesome.
Because if we need to dive deeper into some layers, we're going to do them, and we're going to do them on healing through experiences, because that's exactly what this is. That's
the purpose.
Exactly what I am. That is exactly what I am living, and so it ain't easy.
And no.
Everybody
didn't say it was easy. I just said it was necessary. I say at the end you're going to love it. You'll be a better person. You'll understand more. I didn't say it was easy though.
No, it's not easy. And
a lot of other stuff, but not easy.
You respect it more when you've gone through that the tough part, because there's always going to be some murky parts, and so when you come out on the other side of it, you're like, whew.
Yes, okay. I did it. I did it.
Yay! Yes. You know, it's like, game-winning shot. I did that. Or walk across the hot coals.
Yes.
I'm proud of you people. I don't think I'll do that. But it's just like that. It's that type of intensity. It's what I mean? And that's that type of courage and bravery, as you were speaking about.
Yes.
Be able to do for you, because no one else walked that. You did.
Yes.
That's your shoes that you can be proud of. And that's, more self-esteem, more self-worth, more self-awareness that you're giving to you. That's the best love. That's the best gift that you can give yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you once again.
Yay.
I need a nap. That was good. Yes. So please, anyone, if you have enjoyed this conversation that I've had with dear sister Momma 7, please give us a thumbs up. Give us your comments. Give us your own experiences. Like this is an open forum in this respect. Hopefully we'll be moving to some live events. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So we can really interact with the public and whoever gets on here. But subscribe, share, and thank you once again for joining. This was a pleasure. Go to Momma7, awonderfulapproach.com, and Facebook. You want to contact her, but be ready. Even if you're not ready, contact her. She'll help you get ready. I promise you, because you get ready. You're just scared. So let's not be scared anymore.
That's right.
Have a great day.